I'm François Villeneuve from CTEFL and I work on carrots. Different aspects on carrots, mainly on pests and disease. And the first picture it's me, so I introduce myself. So my talk is a few biological specificity of the carrot fruit fly for a more accurate forecasting in carrots. Brief remember of specificity of the biology of carrot fly. In France, we have 2 or 3 generations every year. The damage occur along the crop cycle, from the young plants with mortality to harvest time with rusty brown tunnels. We have a very low tolerance in market. The threshold is less than 1% of carrot with damage. The protection is tricky because the presence of female is in field is periodic, and female fecundity is high, 120 to 160 eggs by females. For forecast program, we have two techniques: Swat trapping system or forecast model. Generally, for trapping system, we use 5 strike by fields on one line of 10 to 12 meters at 5 to 7 meters from the field margin, and this trap is for a field maximum of 2 hectares. Various factors influence the capture levels. The attractiveness of plant changes with age, more attractive at the beginning of the development and less attractive at the end of the development. The different apiaceae do not have the same attractiveness. The egg laying is stimulated by a strong presence of fly, and the attractiveness is strongest between 1 and 6 hours before sunset. The travel in flight is around 80 centimeters above the leaves. For focus models, around possibility, morph in United Kingdom or Swat in Germany. The problem is to know if we have a relationship between the number of catch carrot fly and the percentage of damaged carrots. You can see on this figure, you have when we have 4 fly catch by days, we have between 90 to 100% of carrots with damage. When we are between 0 to 2 fly catch by days, we can have between 5 to 80% of damage. So we have no good relationships between the level of catching and the percentage of damage of carrots. The patterns of the carrot fly in north and west of France. You have 3 generations. The first generation starts in March, and the first fly, the end is the end of beginning of June. The second fly began June to the beginning of September, and the third starts to August to October. When you are in south of France, the situation is very different. We observe only 2 flies. A first fly beginning in April to May, and a second fly more later, beginning in September to the frost around the end of November. So it's important to know the main overwintering form forecast the start of the first flight in spring. In France, we have 3 situations for main overwintering form for carrot fly. It's northern and west zone, the form of overwintering is pupae. In southern zone, it's larvae. In between the north and the south, you have intermediate situations. It's important because when the stage in autumn is pupae, we have diapause, and where the stage in autumn is larvae, you have absence of diapause. And when we forecast, it's important. Here you have a picture with prediction risk using a Swat model and the overwintering form pupae. The model tells the fly in March to April, and the observed flight is April to May. So you have no good relation between the predictions and the observations in fields. If we compare the flight activity in autumn and in spring, and the different stage, eggs, larvae, pupae, and pupae development, you can see you have in south of France pupae in December to February, and pupae development pupae began in February. And we bring the prevision risk with a Swat model. You can see you have a pretty good prediction because we have the predict flight and observed flight. So it's important to know the overwintering form for the forecasting. The problem of autumn flying in south of France. First, with normal summer in south, normally hot, we have no Swat model predict a second flight in July, and this model is not observed. Psila rosae is susceptible to estivation at temperature above 22 degrees, induce an arrest of development, name is quiescence, and these pupae wait for more favorable temperature to resume their development. And other aspects, we observe in south of France a strong difference between minimum and maximum temperature in the same day, and the main temperature don't reflect the reality. We have average monthly thermal amplitude between 9 to 18 degrees for observed. So, where we have the spring fly, the autumn fly, and in dashed line we bring for modeling the main temperature. You can see eggs development, larvae development, and pupae development. And normally, if we bring the main temperature, we predict a flight in July, don't observe in south of France. When we bring the maximum temperature, you have here the development of eggs, larvae, and pupae, and you see here the quiescence, the stop of the development of the pupae, and a relatively good predictions of the flight in autumn. So, in conclusions, forecasting risk in south of France, as observed, opposite to what observed. In more northern zone, there are only 2 flights in spring and autumn, and instead 3 in normal years. Overwintering is done preferentially in form of larvae and not in pupae form. The forecasts of the risk of development of various stages between the 2 flight periods, the maximum temperature and the shelter must be taken in account and not the average temperature to allow for the strong thermal temperature observed in sows. In case it's cold summer, we observe 3 fly, like the last 2 years are more cooler, and we observe 3 fly in south of France. Thank you for your attention.